So China is an amazing country, and if you ever get the chance to go there, you end up there late January, early February, you might be there during Chinese New Year. It's the experience you won't ever fucking forget. Chinese New Year usually goes about 2 weeks total, and you feel like you in a fucking war zone for like 2 weeks straight when this shit going on, because there's so many motherfucking fireworks going off all times, all hours of the day, 3, 4 in the morning. It's kind of like a combination of like Christmas in America plus Thanksgiving, maybe plus another holiday combined. It's a big fucking deal. It's the biggest migratory fucking event anywhere in the world, because every year when they have this, so many people is traveling from so many different places to get back to their hometown so they can be with their family for Chinese New Year. It's kind of a beautiful thing though. It's too bad we don't have something like this here. And tonight I just want to talk about the Chinese New Year from hell, because I had a fucking terrible experience back in 2013 when I had to go to this small ass town. And let me give you some background how all this fucking transpired, how I ended up in this situation. Some of you might remember a few months ago me telling a story about how I was running an English school for a hot minute. I was out hitting the bar scene one night. I meet this girl, she real smart, family real wealthy, she a lawyer. She got her own English school, and next thing you know, she asked me to run the motherfucker for her. And I did, blood, and it was cool. And it was a beautiful fucking thing when I was running the show, man. I was good to everybody that worked there and shit. And everybody was happy as hell when I was running that spot. But we needed new teachers, we needed new foreign teachers. So we looking for new teachers and shit. And you kind of limited, blood, for finding people that's native English speakers when you out there. We found this guy who applied, his name was Peter, he was from Holland. And I got bad vibes off him immediately. But he looked the part and he did what he needed to do to get that job. His demo wasn't very fucking good, but it was good enough. So the company and I, we decided we was gonna take him on, we was gonna give him a shot. And that turned out to be a big fucking mistake, because he was only there for like a week or two. He was already pissing everybody off. And then one day he comes in my office and he decides he's gonna be a little tattletale and telling these fucking teachers. There were these 2 English teachers that worked at our company, and they was going out the staircase and they was blazing up some greens on their brakes and shit. And most teachers did that shit anyway. Nobody gave a fuck except him. I'm sure the local staff, they would have gave a fuck if they knew what we was doing, blood. But it's like 2 separate worlds. And these fools go party on their weekends, they need to recover, so they go hit up that staircase and start feeling better so they can teach. I guess one day Peter's little bitch ass decides he's gonna take the stairs instead of take the elevator like every other motherfucker does. So he walked up the stairs, he catches those 2 smoking, blood. He goes straight in my office and tells on blood. He in there demanding they get fucking fired, this and that. And it's so goddamn hard to find fucking native speakers. And I'm just looking at this motherfucker. He just started there and he's trying to get these people fired. But not only is he trying to get him fired, blood, he's trying to get him fucking fired in a foreign country. There's no telling what can happen to these motherfuckers, but he's sitting there demanding I call the police and every fucking thing. And I just heard enough out this motherfucker. Blood, this motherfucker was making my blood fucking boil, blood. I had enough. So I looked at Peter, I said, blood, get your shit and get the fuck out. You fucking fired, you little tattletale bitch. Yeah, I fucking fired him on the spot. And then this motherfucker starts getting all sassy with me. I guess that shit took him off guard or something like that. And he starts getting real mouthy in that office. I had no choice, but I had to fucking escort him out. I fucking strong on a little bitch ass motherfucker. I fucking forced his ass in the elevator. I fucking shoved him out there. Fucking sent his ass on his way. Turned out to be a big fucking mistake though. That I let him get his shit, because that's why the little bitch came crawling back. He made a big fucking campaign to get in contact with the lady that owned that fucking school, let her know his side of the story. And eventually he did too, and it was all because he said he needed to get in there and get his shit back. But he told her everything. And needless to say, she saw that situation in a whole different fucking light than the way I saw it. And we ended up having a company meeting because of that shit. I was fucking mad, blood. This little bitch ass motherfucker coming in my world just fucking my shit up like this. Like I said, I don't tell on people, blood. But I let every motherfucking school in that town know this fool was no good. Do not hire this motherfucker. Yeah, I let them know, blood. Talk to them other schools. I'm like, do not hire Peter. He is a fucking troublemaker. You bring that fool in your company, you're gonna have problems. And I blacklisted his ass, and nobody would hire that fool in that town from there on. So we got this company meeting, and it just goes from fucking terrible to like just unfucking believably bad. Because everything comes out in this fucking meeting. And it was a lot of shit that got me in trouble. There was this ugly ass old lady, and she wasn't even an accountant. She was just like a bookmaker, wherever the fuck you call them. She just did their books. And this bitch hated my fucking guts, blood, and I had no idea. And she blindsided me. I couldn't understand half the shit this fucking bitch was saying. I don't know what town she's from, but her Chinese is just so guttural, blood. You can't even understand her stupid ass. But she had it in for me, blood. She was letting that boss know every fucking thing. Actually, come to think of it though, I can see why they had a little bit of fucking resentment towards me and shit. I mean, blood, I was like a chain smoker, and none of them women fucking smoked that office, blood. But I would. I fucking smoked that office up. That's the thing with fucking China though, man. Most of the men there smoke, but none of the women hardly ever smoke. I could count on like 2 hands all the women I've ever known in China that smoke cigarettes, but it ain't fucking many. And I guess a lot of them wasn't liking the fact that I was fucking tacking out the entire office all fucking day with them Chinese cigarettes. And I guess they started harboring a lot of resentment towards me. There were other things too though. So I had a lot of relationships with the teachers that was coming in there, the teachers' assistants. They was all these Chinese girls. They were all about 21, 22. They fresh out of college. They all speak real good English. And a lot of them is fine as hell too, blood. And they meet me. I might be a little strange looking to them, but a lot of them really never knew foreigners before. And they see I'm real good with these kids and shit. I'm funny. And they got me in a position of authority. They got me running this whole fucking school. For all they know, I'm the head top motherfucker of the whole place. They never even met the owner before. And some of these girls will fall in love with me, blood. And it ain't my fault what fucking happened, blood. I ain't someone to turn down a free fucking meal. And these girls was beautiful, man. They was all amazing. They was all special in their own fucking way. And I loved all of them, blood. But I was also having this on-off again relationship with that lady that owned the fucking school. So when she found this out, she took it real fucking personally, and I think she felt humiliated or something by it. I could figure out before this meeting was over where this is going to end. It's going to end with me not working there anymore. And it's fucking all good. But they all teaming up on me. But then there was this tall girl, blood, that I had like a relationship with. And this tall girl, blood, like, I knew she was kind of infatuated with me and shit, because she come watch me on her days off and shit like that, watch me teaching kids and stuff like that. But she decided she's going to go out there and stand up for me. And it just backfired on her. Because at the end of this meeting, there was 2 people they let go. It was me and her. And she was like fucking devastated by it, blood. It was like the end of the world to this fucking girl, man. It wasn't that big a deal to me. But that's the thing with China, blood. You a native English speaker, man. You worth gold, blood. You lose one job, you find another the next fucking day. It ain't never an issue, because I always took care of my own visas too, so I didn't need them for anything. And now that I look back at this shit years later, in hindsight, I can kind of tell that girl was trying to emotionally manipulate me at this point, because she was trying to turn this whole thing about getting fired into something else. A big part of this scheme this girl had going was to get me to go with her for Chinese New Year, to go meet her family. And I didn't understand then why it was such a big fucking deal for me to go with her, but I'd find out later. If you accompany a young lady to her family, to her house, you a stranger or whatever, you a guy, that means you're supposed to marry him, blood. It means it's set in stone too. You don't go to the girl's hometown, you don't meet her family, not unless you plan on marrying her, blood. I had no fucking idea about any of this. It was all gonna come up later, believe me. Anyway, like I was saying, she giving me all this shit about getting fired, how it's like the end of her life. She talking about she thinking she gonna kill herself, how she disgraced her family, she ain't gonna be able to help out her family. She got all these brothers and sisters and shit that need her help. And somehow the fucking solution to everything, the cure to all her fucking problems, is me going back with her to her hometown for Chinese New Year. And she just keeps doing this shit, keeps pressuring me, blood. It wasn't that big a fucking deal to me anyway, cause like, usually for Chinese New Year, there ain't a lot of work anyway. Everybody going back to their hometown. And if there is work, it's just kids want to cram for some tests, and that shit sucks. So basically, you can just party up for Chinese New Year. You can try to make a quick hustle, make a lot of money. Either way, I didn't really have no plans going on. And like I said, she just really putting the pressure on me. And I'm starting to think about it now. I mean, I just picked up, of course, pretty decent greens and shit like that. I was pretty well supplied, so like, I started thinking about it. I was like, fuck it, why not? It might be an interesting experience going to this girl's hometown, some small town in Western China. I had never been to Western China before, blood. And most people don't ever go there. When you think of China, it's Eastern China. That's where like almost every fucking thing is, blood. The West is really poor. I mean, the ancient capital out there, Xi'an and shit like that. You go real far west where the Muslims are near the border and shit like that, but most of them towns out there, blood, they fucking really poor, blood. They real fucking poor. Even though I've been living in China for a long fucking time, when I eventually decided to go with her and experience Western China, It was like culture shock all over again because I was living in a really nice area. I mean, honestly, these days, you in a city like Shanghai or fucking Hangzhou, your quality of life is just as good, if not better than in America, blood, for real. It really fucking is. You're definitely safer there. You definitely get better food. But Western China, completely fucking different, blood. Completely fucking different. It's like you're going into a different country. You're stepping back in time like 20 fucking years. It's crazy. Because she talked me into going at such a late minute, we can't take the regular modes of transportation. We can't take the fast train to get west. We can't even take the regular train. We take the fucking ghetto train. It's the only one they still tickets available. We actually lucky we even got them because like I say, it's a big travel season, biggest in the world in China when everybody go out Chinese New Year. If you ever take the fucking fast train in China or regular one, regular bus, anything like that, they're nice, blood. They're just as good as anything you'll get in America. They're probably nicer, especially the fast train. We ain't got that in America. But it's good traveling. Nah, blood, this wasn't. This was like the cheapest way possible. It's like the brokest, poorest motherfuckers is taking this shit. They motherfucking livestock on that train with you, blood. There's fucking chickens flapping around, shit like that. This dude sitting next to me, I don't know what the fuck he got going. He got some major sinus issues, some fucking serious cold going, blood. He just hocking up lookies that whole fucking ride, blood. And it was a long fucking ride. It took fucking days, blood, on that fucking train. There was no fucking planes, nothing, blood. It was the cheap ass old fucking train, and that was it. And like I said, we was lucky to even fucking find that. And the bathrooms was hella fucking nasty on this thing. So I'm thinking we about to hit a train station. I could go in there because I need to take a shit. And I figure it might be a little bit, I figure I waited out, see what my chances were inside the public bathrooms in the train station. It was one of the nastiest fucking things I ever seen. It's definitely the nastiest thing I ever seen in a fucking public restroom. It wasn't even toilets in there, blood. There was like a big concrete fucking trench. And you enter the men's restroom, blood, and there are a couple piss spots, and then just this big giant trench, and you're supposed to climb up on it and hunch over it and just squat down, take a shit into this hole. I'm trying to explain this better, blood. I'm trying to think of a better way of explaining this. It's like they dug a ditch and put concrete in it, and everybody leans over this ditch and just shits it into a big giant mound of shit. At the end of the day, some guy shovels it out or something. But it's like really high volume, a lot of people coming in and out, a lot of people using that bathroom, blood. And I'm guessing it's just been a whole day of motherfuckers taking shit in this trench, but it was like a giant mound of shit. Maybe I shouldn't explain this any fucking more, but let me put it this way. If you fell in that motherfucker, there's a good chance you could drown inside of that shit, blood. That's how fucking much shit was in there. It was so fucking nasty. So needless to say, I just fucking held it until we got back on the train because not only that, you don't get no fucking privacy either. And I'm the only foreigner that's ever probably been there. So everybody can be looking at me taking a shit. I'm fucking for reals, blood. Her hometown ended up being so goddamn remote. Even the Japanese never went there in World War II, blood. I was like the first fucking foreigner probably been there since the Mongolians and shit, blood, for real. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up for right now because it's probably already over 10 minutes while I've been talking. And I'm trying to post this on TikTok, some other spots and shit like that. So I'm gonna make this a 2 or 3 parter, I think. And hopefully by tomorrow I'll have part 2 out. But if you get a chance, check out my YouTube, Daryl Sherms. There are a lot of other stories like this on here. There are tons of them, blood. And thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. All right, so I'm back. Gonna give you part 2 of this fucking amazing adventure. So I think I was talking about that fucking train we was on. It was like damn near 2 days straight of this shit. And we didn't have nothing prepared. I mean, we didn't bring no food with us or nothing. So it was a motherfucker just trying to get food and shit. We ended up having to live off them fucking cup of noodles, but I don't know if you ever had Chinese cup of noodles. They're a lot fucking better than those ones in America. I ain't gonna say they're great fucking eating or nothing like that, but it's better than starving anyway. And they're hell a lot better than them fucking cup of noodles we get in America, but those things are a fucking joke. But yeah, we got there anyway. We got to that fucking town. And before we even arrived at that town, I could tell shit was different. But when I got out that fucking train, I saw that town. Oh my God, blood, it was like nothing I ever seen. It looked like it'd been attacked by a fucking Air Force. Like, it looked like maybe the Japanese bombed that motherfucking village or something back in World War II and nobody ever bothered to clean that motherfucker up. It turned out that ain't the case. It was just decaying, old, and people's broke. They couldn't fix them old buildings. I mean, I don't really know how to explain this place, but it was fucked up. It looked like one of them towns that's set up to be demolished, but they still motherfuckers living there. And I can't ask her nothing about it because she gonna get offended if I do. It made sense to me why she left her hometown and moved to Hangzhou, but it's kind of the case with almost everybody there. In that city, ain't nobody from that city. The whole time I lived there, I met like 3 or 4 people actually from there. Nah, everybody come from other towns, blood. Nobody from the town they live in, it seems like, when you out there, especially when you see cities like Hangzhou, because it's a nice ass city. So motherfuckers is coming from everywhere to live there. But anyway, let me get back to that fucking town, explain what I was talking about. So we got off that train and shit, and there ain't no regular taxi, just a pirate taxi. I don't know if you know what that is. It's just a motherfucker in their car that's charging you money to take them somewhere. And they drive like maniacs. Taxi drivers in general drive like fucking nutcases, but these motherfuckers ain't even real taxi drivers, and they'll do some stupid shit, blood. They'll fucking drive on the sidewalks, there are people walking. They'll try to rip you off on your change and shit like that. If you ever go to China, you should avoid using these motherfuckers unless you got to, blood, because they a pain in the ass. I had nothing but fucking problems using these motherfuckers. But yeah, so we got to our town, blood, and it was like being in another country. For real though, you live in one of them modern cities out there now, it's fucking nice. And you go to a place like this, it's like being in another fucking country. So this guy, he drops us off like right at the center of the city, or the entrance of the city. It's these old city walls, like in old times, this village old as fuck. There used to be a walled city, but that shit broke down. And now there's just these 2 decayed ass old fucking gates that's left. All the rest is just rubble and shit. But then right next to both them gates are these 2 giant fucking piles of bones, but like cow bones or some shit. They're like 2 stories tall. I don't know what the fuck they was doing there. They look weird as fuck. I wish I took some pictures of that shit. I mean, I never seen so many fucking bones in my life. I have no idea why they stack them there, why they at the gate of that fucking town. And I wasn't gonna ask that girl. So by this point, motherfuckers is noticing me. And it's Backstreet Boys effect all over again. You got the foreigners there. They never have foreigners there, so everybody gonna make a big deal about you and shit. But this was different. This was a lot more intense. I started noticing there's this similarity with a lot of these motherfuckers in this village, but they all got this real strange looking face. The best way I can explain, you ever seen an electric light socket, you know, when you plug your lights into? It kind of looked like a face in a way. It got like 2 eyes and a mouth and shit. That's what these people's faces look like. And it was like, a lot of the town looked like this. They all had like this same phenotype or genotype, whatever the fuck it is. Only thing I'm guessing, must have been some ugly motherfucker back in the day, real powerful or some warlord or some shit. And he knocking up every girl in that village, and they having ugly ass kids together, all got that weird ass electric socket face. I don't fucking know. There is a lot of variety in Chinese people's faces. I've heard people make some kind of like ignorant comments in America about they looking the same and shit like that. But trust me, they think the same thing about fucking everybody else. Like one of my Chinese friends, he mentioned that he's saying how all white people look the same. I thought this was funny as hell because white people, we got different hair colors, different eye colors and shit. But to a lot of Chinese, we do look the same. But not in this village, man. It was like every motherfucker looked the same. It was bizarre. And even that girl's family, blood, they all had the electric plug socket fucking face, blood, for real. And that shit's gonna become a mystery to me later, but it's gonna be solved and wonder why the fuck, cause she looked good, blood. She was pretty banging, blood. But all her family are a bunch of fucking goblins, blood. And I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. Anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. I was trying to describe that town and shit. I remember going out on the road, blood. And they would fucking, this girl, blood, she's fucking washing her clothes in a fucking dirt puddle in the middle of the road. I seen a few other motherfuckers doing this. They like potholes in the road or ditches and shit. And they straight washing their fucking clothes in rainwater in these fucking dirt holes, blood. It's just kind of a surreal experience being out there. And it's just a fucking really strange town. I remember going by like these garbage dump things where they put all that garbage and burn it. And there was like the local crazy lady rolling around in this fire garbage. It was bizarre. It was like still smoldering and shit, and she rolling around in it. So I asked the girl, so what the fuck's going on there? She just telling me it's the local crazy lady and shit like that. So we get through this village, all these motherfuckers, like a big crowd of 50 people follow me like I'm the fucking Piper and shit. We finally get to her house, but and it is a fucking disaster, man. Her house is nasty. It looked fucking medieval, bro, but it looked like they had done no upkeep on this motherfucker. And it must have been built like before World War II or some shit. Had a bunch of windows smashed out. And this fucking February, blood, it's cold as fucking China this time of year. And this house ain't got no heating and shit. And all their windows is smashed out. I don't know how the fuck these people living like this, blood, but that's just Western China. Everything in this house concrete too. Concrete sinks, concrete floors, every fucking thing. Which ain't a big deal. I mean, you there for a while, you get really used to that kind of shit, but this place was just so fucking cold and uncomfortable. I can't believe people live. There ain't no sit-down toilets neither, but that ain't a big fucking deal to me, blood. I've been using them squat toilets for days. And they're pretty fucking easy. The only thing that sucks about it, you gotta take your pants off. You gonna shit down your pants if you don't. I remember that first fucking apartment I had in China was like $300 a month and shit. It didn't even have no toilet or no squat. It just had a straight fucking hole in the middle of the floor. You just shit down it, dumped a bucket down it, and flushed it out. And like this family, I think I told you, was like multi-generational. The hell of motherfuckers living in this big ass house. And their kitchen separated. But it ain't really like a kitchen though, blood. It like a shack. You can tell they used to have an old kitchen. It looked like the Japanese must have bombed that motherfucker too. Nah, it wasn't bombed, it just decayed and fell apart and nobody bothered to fix it. So they made a makeshift kitchen out of corrugated roofing. And they cook out there, the whole family eat out in this corrugated roofing, blood. And that food they served was fucking, oh man, it was rough, blood. It was fucking rough. And I was there for a long time. And I remember that first time I had to eat with all these motherfuckers. There's no end of them, blood. And I ain't trying to be mean or nothing, player, but they a fucking family of freaks, blood. They all goblins, but they all got serious shit wrong with them. And this kind of an unfortunate cycle. It happened to a lot of people out there because, like United States, you got a lot of government help, a lot of resources dedicated to kids that's born with problems and shit. But over there ain't, blood. And one of the main strategies a family's gonna do there, because they have to like rely on each other. The family unit is still so critical to Chinese society. So like your kid comes out deformed, retarded, you're gonna have another kid to help him out. And that second kid, he's gonna be responsible for his parents when they get older, and he's gonna be responsible for his brother or sister that's retarded or deformed, whatever, that can't work or help himself. So it's kind of a big thing. So what happened with this lady, tall girl's mom, is she started giving birth to all these goblins, and she just kept having more and more, hoping someone's gonna come out normal, they can take care of the fucking family. But none did. But homegirl normal, blood, she banging too, she fine as hell. And she got a brother too, he normal too, he work out in the big city and shit. He show up there too with his girl, and you can tell she like me, she in complete culture shock being there, blood. I think homeboy and his girl, they worked in Shanghai, some pretty wealthy girl, and for her to come back to a house like that, she wasn't really ready for it. She was kind of overwhelmed with it, you could tell, especially all them goblins there. And I'll find out later on why she looked normal, her brother looked normal, but the rest of the family didn't. And it's pretty fucking shocking why. I'm sure I'm gonna tell you later, but let me just stick to what I'm talking about right now. So yeah, like I said, I was getting sidetracked. I need to keep to what the fuck I was talking about. We was talking about the city, we wasn't talking about the city, what was we? So everything for me in this village is just all bad. The food's fucking terrible. I don't think I mentioned, nobody there speaks Mandarin, blood. Mandarin, the national language. People supposed to speak it all over, but nobody in this town can speak it. I don't know if you know or not, but in China, every city, every town, it's got its own distinct, unique language. And they're not like understandable, decipherable from one another. The written is the same, but the verbal is different. I mean, it's completely fucking different. Like, you ever hear people speaking Cantonese, you hear people speaking Mandarin, they completely fucking different. And the language in this fucking town was bizarre. It just sounded like they was mumbling shit. You couldn't understand them at all. That made shit real fucking terrible. Like, just trying to go out and get something like at a store, like you want to get some cigarettes or something like that. Cigarettes was about the only motherfucking thing I could get there. I couldn't get anything else. Couldn't even get cola, fucking anything. And once you step outside their house, but you gonna immediately get bombarded with a fucking village full of goblins. They gonna come surround you, hobbling you, fucking harassing you and shit like that. It's a lot to deal with. You don't want to fucking deal with it all the time. Shit, I realized I'm getting sidetracked. I was talking about meals with them too, blood. Like, I had to eat all these meals and there was no escape. There was no restaurants, no KFC, nothing. It was eat their food or fucking starve. And I'll never forget that pig intestine, because it was like, they didn't clean them out right or something, but there was still big chunks of shit in there. You could fucking taste it when you was eating it, blood, and it was fucking revolting, blood. And I want to make something else clear right quick too about like small villages. Now, they no way they ever as much fun as big city. Big city in China is amazing. It's got everything. It's beautiful. It's fun. Small towns got less, but they usually still fun. Like, usually you go to some small town village, you a foreigner there, but people gonna want to drink with you, play mahjong, whatever. You know, they want to take you out, show you a good time and shit like that. And they places to go, but not this village. I don't know if most of Western China is like this. I'm not really sure, blood. Maybe it's just this village was like it, but it was fucking depressing as hell. And I can see why people don't want to live out there. They want to go east. And I didn't even tell you the best fucking part. They no internet at all. I mean, not just in their house. You can't use your phone. There's no connection there in this fucking town. China usually got real good connection, but not in this village. And I remember a few days into it, shit, And I never really like asked her how long we gonna be there. I just assumed it's gonna be for like 5 days, 6 days maybe. Fuck no, we there for 10 days, blood. 10 fucking days. So I'm stuck in this freezing fucking house, middle of nowhere. Nothing to fucking do. Can't even eat anything you wanna eat. Can't even get internet, blood. Nothing, blood. You can't even talk to anybody. They don't even speak Mandarin. I left there, I had a quarter of some good flour. As good as you're gonna get there. It's pretty good too, it's not bad. So I had that, but I didn't realize I was gonna be there for 10 fucking days, blood. That's too long, play. I can't make it last that long. And just being a straight dumb fuck, first couple days I'm there, I'm just blazing through shit, not thinking like that. Think it's gonna last me, I'm gonna be there 5 days. Court can last me 5 days, easy. 10 days, nah, blood. I'm gonna run out now. One of the reasons I was gonna run out so quick, and it was kind of one of the highlights of this whole fucking trip, was a tall girl's uncle lived there too. And this motherfucker was wild, man. He was a crazy motherfucker. And I really liked this cat at first. Little did I know, a few days later, I would literally be plotting on how I can murder this motherfucker or like seriously maim him or cripple him the rest of his fucking life for what I seen him do. But before that, we was cool, blood. We was friends. And usually I ain't trying to be stereotypical or like judgmental, say Chinese can't drink as like much as Westerners or something like that. Something to be proud of any fucking way. But generally it ain't true. Chinese don't really drink that hard and they start early. They start drinking that Baijiu, that Chinese rice wine. It's strong as fuck, blood. It goes through you quick though. Chinese start drinking after work like 5, 6. By 9, they're drunk, but they're able to get up in the morning. They're good to go in the morning. But it's been kind of my personal experience that most Chinese I drank with couldn't really drink as much as Westerners drink. They all try to, you know, this and that. Their alcohol content in their beer is like really fucking low, man. Don't even bother fucking with that Chinese beer if you're there. Unless you can go to some foreign market or find somewhere that's got special beer, because that shit's usually like 2% alcohol. A light beer in America is like 5%, so you ain't getting shit. And it was weird as fuck too with this whole alcohol thing with a fucking beer, because like Qingdao, popular beer, you get the cans, they were 4.3% alcohol. You can get drunk off that, it'll do the job. But they bottles don't. They bottles is only like 3%, so you gotta drink that shit hard and fast to get anything out of it. And it ain't even fucking worth doing, blood. You better off just drinking some Jingzhou or some fucking Baijiu. Anyway, I was talking about homegirl's uncle and shit, and this motherfucker made his own booze. And this fool was a hard drinker. He one of the hardest drinkers I ever met in my fucking life. This dude was really something. He made his own, it's called a Huangzhou, I think. Yeah, it'd be Huangzhou, fucking yellow wine, homemade yellow wine. It was strong as fuck too, but this shit would get you deliriously drunk, blood. First time this fool hit me up with this shit, I got fucking stupid on it, blood. Me and this motherfucker, we really liked each other. He was funny as hell. We couldn't communicate really, but we got along real well. And I could tell he was on my level. He liked to fucking party. I know he never fucked with no Dama before, blood. He never fucked with no greens. Only thing this motherfucker probably smoked his whole goddamn life was cigarettes, blood. And I was fucked up. I don't usually do this, blood. You don't ever try to turn them locals onto this shit, blood. And I only did this because I was fucked up, drunk, and out of my mind. I would normally, I could tell this was one of my people. He was on my level. But I would normally never introduce Chinese to this shit, blood. You don't fucking do that. Chinese in China and foreigners in China, we live in two separate worlds in a lot of ways. And those worlds don't intersect. And one thing don't intersect is like smoking them greens, blood. You don't fucking bring Chinese into that. You just keep it with foreigners. Don't get me wrong, some fucking do, but it ain't many. Statistically speaking, it's probably like 1% maybe. America is probably like 20% people smoke green, maybe more, I don't fucking know. But over there, it's real low. It was funny as hell, too, getting this fool tacked out, blood, because he got so fucking lit. It was hilarious, because he was drunk as fuck, and he never experienced this before, blood. He was like in another world and shit. Needless to say, the motherfucker loved it, too. He wanted it all the time. He's always asking me. He's always, like, making these hand gestures, like, let me know he wants to smoke. And I don't like turning people down. I'm always down to smoke. But I was running out fast. Anyway, let me get back about this fucking family and shit. Cause I remember this one night, I was in their little corrugated roofing shack, the kitchen. And Big Mama, she in there cooking, blood. She's sick as fuck and she's hawking up all kinds of loogies everywhere. I don't know, blood. It's like I know she ain't spitting in the fucking food or nothing, blood, but just something really off-putting about that. And then she got her finger up her nose the other fucking half the time, just picking boogers out while she cooking. Alright, so I think I was talking about having to have dinner with them, and there was no escape. Like this fucking village they lived in, it was so poor that there was no restaurants, nothing like that. It was the only option, and every fucking dinner, every meal, fucking the Elder Goblin, he looked like the motherfucking Toxic Avenger and shit. He gonna sit right down right next to me. And this fool, he got like 2 teeth in his fucking mouth. And the whole time he gonna try to fucking talk to me in that weird ass local dialect. Can't understand anything he fucking saying. He just spit food out of his mouth the whole fucking time. Normally, you would think some fucking toothless goblin spitting big ass chunks of fucking food in your meal is gonna be the worst experience you gonna have during the dinner. But not here, blood. I mean, every fucking time they giving you fucking bowls and plates of food to eat off of and chopsticks and shit, they always dried up chunks of fucking food on it. Every fucking time. And that goddamn food was so fucking horrible, man. You wouldn't fucking believe it. I mean, normally in China, the food is so goddamn good, but here everything was fucking wretched. And I'm kind of wondering how homegirl dealing with this shit, because she living out in Hangzhou and shit. Before that, she was in Shanghai. And the food out there is fucking phenomenal. And to have to go back to this, blood, unbelievable. I mean, it's like I said, it's shit like pig intestine and just the nastiest fucking things you can possibly imagine every motherfucking meal. Ah, man. Whatever you don't eat that fucking morning, they gonna slap it back on for breakfast and, I mean, for lunch. And what don't we eat for lunch, they gonna throw it back for fucking dinner. So, you gonna eat it. That's all you gonna fucking get. Like, the only time I had 2 fucking meals there that was not that fucking bad. It was like a miracle. Like a fucking miracle from God. Because I was like starving to death and shit. And one day this big ass fucking truck come running down their fucking road. They ain't got no paved road. It's a fucking dirt road with big ass holes and shit in it. So this big ass truck hitting them holes and these 2 fucking geese come flying out the back. They lay in the middle of the road and fucking we able to eat them for dinner. They wasn't bad. But the other meal I liked there, blood. Fucking, I remember I'm out in there like balcony thing in the top of their house. I'm smoking one of my last bowls and shit. And I see that bread truck roll up. The uncle that smoked with me and shit, the uncle I blazed with, him and fucking Bobo, they pull up in their bread truck. And they got a dead dog in the back. And that fucking sick motherfucker Bobo just laughing, just giggling and shit. So yeah, they pull out this dead fucking dog out the back of that truck. And that Bobo got a big smile on his fucking face, and I don't really think nothing of it, but I don't know what the fuck to think, because motherfuckers drive really bad over there. I just assumed it was some fucking dog they ran over, and fucking, because they a lot of stray dogs out there, but they fucking everywhere, and motherfuckers drive real bad, so I just figured, I put 2 and 2 together. I don't know, blood, because like, on an average day, I say the average Chinese driver make about 11, 12 fucking life-threatening fucking driving decisions. You ever seen a motherfucker driving like 60, 70 through an apartment complex next to a big playground, a bunch of kids all running up and down the road? I mean, you might honk. You might get lucky, motherfucker might honk. That's about as much precaution as anybody over there exercise when they fucking drive. I ain't saying it's they fucking fault. It's like, most people ain't been driving there a long time. You ain't got your moms and your dads to fucking teach you how to drive there. Anyway. Let me tell you about Bobo, blood, because this motherfucker, man, don't let the fact that he got Down syndrome, and I'm pretty sure he had autism as well, don't let that fool you. This motherfucker was a cold-blooded, sociopathic, psychotic, evil, animal torturing piece of shit. He one of the most rotten motherfucking creatures I ever came across in my life, man. This motherfucker was pure evil, and I felt sorry for him at first and shit, but that changed quick, blood. That changed fucking quick, because I sized that fool up real fucking quick. I mean, that cat got dealt a fucking bad hand in life, and he was pretty aware of shit. He was miserable as fuck, and he spent his whole life just trying to fuck with everybody else and make them as miserable as he was. Look, this motherfucker had an entire room upstairs dedicated to torturing animals. They had all kinds of traps and torture devices and shit. It was like some Hills Have Eyes, Silence of the Lambs type of shit, man. Most of them animals he was torturing there was like rats and squirrels and shit. Cause them rat traps in China, they fucking designed to keep them alive. I don't know why they do that. Actually, I think I probably do know why, but anyway, I'm talking about Bobo here. And this motherfucker, but he was doing some real bad shit that things. I ain't gonna tell you what the fuck he was doing, but it was real fucking bad. I could tell. And as soon as this motherfucker came in the room, it was like all bad, cause he just immediately, he just start fucking with everything, blood. He just start fucking with you. He gonna harass the fuck out you. He ain't gonna leave you alone. He gonna try to get in your shit. He gonna steal your shit. He gonna go through your fucking room when you ain't there. Go through your shit there. He stole the fucking remote for the fucking air conditioner for the heater in that room I was in. And because this motherfucker did that, I never got it back. I never had heating the whole time I was there when I slept. I had 2 parkas on, fucking sweater and shit. I mean, I froze anyway, blood. I fucking froze. But I found out how you deal with that motherfucker later on though, cause like one night me and homegirl, we just chilling in they fucking living room and shit, just freezing as usual. And that motherfucker stumbles in, blood, just pulling his Helen Keller shit. I don't know if you ever seen that old ass movie about Helen Keller before that lady teaches her how to do all that shit. And she just comes stumbling in her room like a fucking nutcase, blood, just snatching food out people's plates, just stuffing her face and shit. That was just like this motherfucker. And my stomach just getting knots every time this fucking cat come in the room, cause you know it's just gonna be all bad. You're gonna have to deal with this piece of shit. And blood, I don't know how to put into words how fucking bad this and that motherfucker with his fireworks, blood. I think I told you before how like Chinese New Year, it's like you in a fucking war zone for like 2 weeks. They just going off every fucking way. In China, it don't matter, it's 3, 4, 5, 6 in the fucking morning, blood. They going off. People lighting them every fucking where. And nobody gives a fuck, blood. And this ugly, dumb, retarded fucking goblin, he's setting them off. But he ain't setting them off outside. He's setting them off inside the fucking house, in the living room, every fucking where. And ain't nobody saying nothing to him. And it was a big fucking deal to me even at first, but a couple days into it, I don't know where he got them from. But he comes back, they weren't them regular fucking firecrackers. They were these big ass motherfuckers, and they was fucking loud. They wasn't like M1000s, nothing like that, but they was fucking way bigger than regular firecrackers. And when this dumb motherfucker was lighting them off in that house, blood, it would make your fucking skull just rattle, man. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. I'm gonna tell you about that fucking Bobo. Cause as soon as that motherfucker sticks them nasty ass dick beating hands of his in them fucking sunflower seeds, homegirl strikes, and she strikes fucking quick. And he ain't eating them sunflower seeds cause he's hungry. He coming in there doing the fuck with us. But she got a solution for his ass real fucking quick. She like immediately spring into action. As soon as that motherfucker put his hand in that bowl, she reached back. They're like one of these, it's like a fucking dough roller. It's like this big circle fucking wooden thing. That's pretty much what it is. It's real fucking heavy, this thing. She picked this motherfucker up, like, and she bring it down on his head as hard as she possibly can. And it's fucking loud. It's like slam when she smacked that motherfucker with it. And as soon as she hit that cat with that fucking thing, he immediately starts screaming. He come running out that fucking room, blood. And I gotta be honest with you, man, that was like one of the most satisfying fucking things that entire trip that happened. Man, I wish I could explain this better, how she hit him with this fucking thing, cause it was like jaw-dropping, man. You seen this shit happen to somebody's life, you might gasp, blood. She fucking hit this fool hard. Like it's something somebody had to go to the hospital for. When she brought that thing down on that dumb motherfucker's ball ass head, but I don't know how to, man, it was so fucking loud, man. But later on, I start getting real nasty with that motherfucker too, because I don't know, but I fucking end up running out of greens like later on, but then something just fucking real nasty starts coming out me. Shit, I already cut off Uncle and shit. I wasn't being shady cutting that motherfucker off, cause I was smoking my resin with him and shit like that. But the shit that motherfucker did the night before, blood, was just unfucking believable. So like the night before, he doing his usual shit. He fucking high pressuring me, trying to get me to smoke some fucking herb with him and shit. And I'm down to like nothing at this point, so I'm down to scrape my fucking pipe, but he welcome to that, and he down to hit that. And you ain't never smoked no resin before, you ain't got no tolerance, blood. That shit'll get you fucked up. And he was high as hell, blood, and his fucking wife comes in. And his wife is like normal, but she like, I don't understand why she married this motherfucker. I mean, for real, she like a normal lady. She tries to dress herself up, wears these dresses and shit like that, does herself up. And she married this fucking drunkard, blood, like it just straight lives to get fucked up all day. So I don't see how that shit working out for her at all. But she come in there and she mad at him about something, and she giving it to him. I can't understand what the fuck they're saying anyway, because they speak in that local fucking weird ass dialect. But he obviously don't like what the fuck she's saying, blood. And at some point, I don't know if the motherfucker lost face or something like that, but right fucking in front of me, he straight backhands her, blood, right across her fucking mouth, blood, puts her to the fucking floor. Needless to say, that was some fucked up shit, blood. And they fucking completely fucked up that entire vibe and shit like that. So that was it for me and him. I never smoked with that motherfucker again after that shit. But domestic abuse in general over there, I mean, it's bad here. It's a common thing here, but I think it's a lot more common over there, but I really fucking think it is. There ain't no fucking deterrence there like this here, man. You go beat up your fucking woman here, but you gonna go upstairs, but they gonna put you in that fucking hamburger outfit. You gonna look like fucking real bad in front of that judge. It ain't good, blood. It ain't fucking good. You gonna do time for domestic abuse, blood. It looks real fucking bad. But over there, nah, you beat her up real bad, you might go to jail, but nah, not like here, man. Not at all. I mean, maybe do push her in the hospital or some cops might get involved in that shit then, but that's about it, blood. They really just keep the fuck out of it. Yeah, I'm getting sidetracked again. I'm gonna keep up on this story. So I've been there hell of motherfucking days now, blood. I still got a few fucking days left before I can get home. And now I am out of every fucking thing. No more resin, nothing. So I'm freezing my ass off every day. Can't eat anything I want to fucking eat. Got no internet. Just bored, miserable. Can't even get no action off that girl. Nothing, blood. It's fucking terrible. For me, sobriety, blood, like a mild withdrawal, blood. It's fucking awful. I hate it, blood. I can't fucking stand it. So I started resorting to desperate measures at this point, and I started drinking Uncle's fucking house wine. For real, man, I can put up with so much bullshit, and I could have put up with all that shit there for a long fucking time. But once I run out of flower, blood, that's it, man. It's fucking over for my ass, blood. I start to lose it. So like I said, I reached my fucking breaking point, and I'm getting myself smashed up off that fucking wine, and just like clockwork, needless to say, it making me angry and fucking miserable because I ain't got no flour with it. And that's all I'm thinking. And for like a minute, I actually started feeling something kind of good. I started getting kind of a good fucking buzz for a change. It was kind of hitting me both ways. I was getting angry, started feeling a little bit better. And then Bobo showed back up. That motherfucker, he don't see me in there. He decide he gonna destroy what little peace and fucking solitude and quiet I got. He gonna fuck that up for me. And he got big plans for me. So Bobo sneaking up behind me, he got another one of the big ass firecrackers, and he planned on throwing it right between my legs, not knowing what's going on. I'm gonna have the fucking shock of my life, blood. I'm gonna get one of them skull rattlers again, blood. These fucking things was so goddamn loud. I'm telling you, that dumb motherfucker lighting them off in the house, blood. It was unfucking believable. But the tables was about to turn on that motherfucker. Because for this night, the joke's gonna be on that motherfucker. Because I don't know what was up with that firecracker. I don't know if it was a bad fuse or what. He just held it too long trying to creep up on me. But it went off in his fucking hand. I'm just drinking that fucking booze, mind my own business, and then bang, right behind me again. But right after that, there's some fucking screaming and crying, blood, like real fucking loud. He must not release that shit in time. And all I know is I look back, I see that screaming motherfucker running up them stairs holding his fucking hand. And I knew what happened, blood. I fucking knew. And suddenly my night just got a whole lot fucking brighter. And this cat fucked himself up bad, but he lost half his fucking pointer finger, and I'm not sure, but I think he may have ended up having to lose his fucking thumb too after this. Cause I'm pretty sure that shit got infected, especially after what I did to him later on, but we'll get to that in a minute. But after that motherfucker did that to himself, nobody cared, blood. Nobody did anything to fucking help him. It was like, nobody gave a fuck. I think this shit happened a lot over there, blood, like for real, cause you go to a lot of stores and shit like that, just meet people in public in general. There are a lot of dudes missing fingers there, like a lot out the ordinary. The only thing I can come up with why there's so many motherfuckers in China, like men missing, it's usually men missing fingers, is they got them blown off playing with fireworks, blood. It's the only fucking thing I can think of. And believe me, they lost, blood. They fucking lost. You'll notice this. You ever go there, you're there for a while. You start noticing there are a lot of people, a lot of men missing fingers and shit. It's gotta be why, man. I can't think of any other fucking reason why. But that stupid asshole trying to fucking get me and fuck my night up and just hurt himself. Like I said, it energized my ass. I decided that I was gonna get him back right there and now. I was gonna fucking get him, blood. I mean, blood, I know this sounds horrible to be fucking sitting there doing some mean shit to some retarded dude that just got his fucking fingers blown off, but if you was there and you seen what this motherfucker did to people and me, you would understand. But still, nonetheless, I ain't saying what I did was right, because it wasn't. But I wasn't myself, man. I was in a fucking foul mood, blood. I mean, that fucking alcohol was hitting me hard and I was getting nasty mean. I mean, that cat did so much shit, like just so much bad shit. But stealing that fucking remote, making me have to freeze for like that damn near 2 fucking weeks I was there, that shit was unfucking forgivable. The thing is, he telling them all he don't know where he put it, but I think he fucking did. I think he intentionally did that shit just so I'd fucking freeze. I'm telling you, this motherfucker's life was just living just to like hurt and torment people. That's all he was about. And I decided I was gonna get him, blood. So I started creeping up them stairs. I could hear that motherfucker up there whimpering and shit. And I saw this bucket of water sitting on the top stair. Some nasty old wooden fucking bucket. It'd been there since the time I was there, blood. It was just fucking full of this nasty old green water. It looked like could have had like chicken shit on top of that water. I don't know, it was fucking nasty. So I'm creeping up on that motherfucker. He's sitting in his little animal torture room, his little animal torture chamber, his bedroom and shit. He laying on his pissy ass mattress, just fucking feeling sorry for himself. And he don't know I'm coming. The only thing my drunk ass can think to do this motherfucker at that time and moment was just to dump that ice cold water on top of him. And it was ice fucking cold. The house was so cold, but there were like icicles forming on top of this bucket of water. As bad as it sounded, I was probably kind of hoping he'd get an infection from his wound too, from that water going on top of it. I was thinking something like that, but I'm telling you, I was fucked up, blood. I was being real mean. I was real fucking foul and angry. So once I creep up close to that motherfucker, close enough, I lift that bucket up, but I just start dumping on that motherfucker before he even knows I'm there. And as soon as he sees me dump that water, he starts screaming. I pick that bucket up and I fucking slam it on top of his fuck. And that thing, it must have hurt like a motherfucker too, cause it's a big ass heavy wooden fucking bucket. And he fucking started running off screaming again like he always does and shit. And I'm just in this fucking torture chamber by myself, and I decided I'm gonna fucking do some more. I didn't feel satisfied, I guess, with what I did to him or something like that, or just because I was in such a fucking angry rage, but I decided I wasn't gonna let him keep doing that Jeffrey Dahmer shit he was doing, blood, and I fucking just started destroying all his shit. All them little squirrel traps and rat traps that fucking sick motherfucker had, I just started smashing all that shit. There was one bird in there that was still alive and let that motherfucker go free, but I probably should have just killed it, put it out of his fucking misery, to be honest with you. I fucking pull out my dick, but I just started pissing all over that fool's fucking nasty ass bed, blood. I thought it was funny as hell at the time, but like, I don't know, blood. This was the alcohol, I'm telling you, blood. I wouldn't fucking normally do this shit to somebody, not somebody with disability. Anyway, blood, it's getting fucking late. I'm gonna have to wrap this motherfucker up next time. But next fucking story, I'm gonna finish this shit, blood. I promise you, I'm gonna come to the conclusion of this long motherfucking story, and we can move on to something more interesting. I really appreciate you watching, support me, man. Y'all motherfuckers have no idea how much you mean to me. And I know most of you can't afford to support me financially, but do what you can for me, blood. Do whatever you can. My numbers is still real fucking low, blood. So anything you can do, if you can like, subscribe, share, do anything you can for me, blood. For real, let's make these motherfucking numbers go up. Anyway, I love you motherfuckers. Y'all have no idea what you mean to me, man. Y'all like my fucking family. And I love you guys. And have a great fucking night. Stay tuned for more Daryl Sherm stories coming soon.